What's going on, guys? It's your boy Phrankleen. Thank you for joining me. Just dealing with a couple of technical difficulties in the background. If you can hear me, let me know you can hear me. Let me know you can hear me. Dose of David. I'm online now. I'm online now. If you can hear me, give the like button. Let me know you can hear me. Let's get more people online. Let's get more people online. So, the story. Hi, Khalid. So this story basically came out, and I'll tell you in a moment why why I chose to talk about this story, not to sensationalize it. It's out there, but there is a reason why it caught my attention. Oh, Um, House of Coffee. If you can hear me, hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. Let's get the numbers up. Let's get the numbers up. Um, These episode is sponsored by Sendwave, right? So let me tell you quickly. Sendwave is basically an app you can download within the two shakes of a duck still on your mobile apps, iPhone or Android, okay? And very straightforward, very, very self-explanatory, very, very easy to use. It allows you to send money from the United Kingdom, Ireland, Italy, United States, and allows you to send money to Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, Tanzania, and Uganda. So if you download the Sendwave app on your device, you're using it for the first time, you have £5, $5, and or €5 added to your very first transaction. Okay. And use my name, Franklin, as it's spelled on my channel. And so that you can get those the £5, $5, or €5 added to your first transaction. All right. And feel free to share my promo code with your friends and families. It's limitless. Okay? Sendwave. Don't forget to download it. Thank you. What's going on, people? What's going on? 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 Um, um, Someone's asking, how are you doing? I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine. Oh, Jerry, thank you, my brother. So, this one, right? Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, my brother. So this story is basically broke about a day or two ago, and it caught my attention. Caught my attention. There is Elmoti, I see you. Um, there is a link in the description if you want to read the full story and stuff. But like I said, I really the reason it caught my attention, I'll tell you in a moment. So let me try and share my screen so that we can read through the article, right? Let me see the Chrome tab. 1 second. Right. Okay. Let's see. Let's share my screen. Right. So it's some Linda Cage's blog. There are so many news outlets that've covered these story. Now, okay, I can see that you can see my screen. So the EFCC is basically the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. All right, so in Nigeria, that's what it means. So they arrested these two Chinese nationals for allegedly offering 100 million naira bribe. That's about $230,000 dollars in bribe. Okay, so the faces of the culprits on here. SL, thank you, my sister. I see you. Thank you. Thank you. P. Send my love to your baby and your hubby. Thank you, my sister. Thank you. Right. So, as you can see, they were busted on the 12th of May, which was yesterday. And the EFCC in Sokoto State in Nigeria, Mengwi Kun, I don't know how to pronounce their name. And then you've also got another one, Su, whatever. It's a bit of a tongue twister for me. But you can see the bundles of, the money, 100 million naira, which is huge amount of money. Okay. But let's go into the body of the story though. The Sokoto basically is a state based in the northern part of Nigeria, right? The Sokoto Zonal Office of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arrested two Chinese nationals for offering a sum of 50 million, which is half of that money, a bribe to the zonal head, Mr. Abdullahi Lawal. Now, you might be reading and be wondering, why did they offer the bribe? Now, just to put in perspective, that's another picture on the screen to see that huge amount of money, right? Somebody said, my son accidentally super chatted. Can you send my money back? Really, SL? Right, hold on. The bribe was allegedly offered in a desperate bid to compromise ongoing investigation of a construction company, China Zongao Nigeria Limited, handling contracts awarded by the Zamfara state government in the sum of 50 billion naira. Okay. So there is a financial misappropriation, 50 billion naira. That's huge between 2012 and 2019. So there's basically an ongoing investigation into that company. And the long and short is that investigation is basically going to, expose the culprits. So they try to bribe. The zonal office of the commission is investigating the construction company in connection with the execution of contracts for the construction of township roads in Gumi, Bukunyu, Anka, and Nasarawa towns of Zamfara state. Also, the construction of 168 solar-powered boreholes in the 14 local government areas of the state. That's more pictorial evidences of the amount of money that was confiscated, right? That's a lot of money, man. That's a huge amount of money. The reason why, as it's a common knowledge. The reason why they use cash to, transfer these bribes and this sort of dark transactions, just so they don't leave footprints in bank accounts. It's as simple as that. So when you get cash, whatever the other party does with the cash, that's your business. They pay you, on the agreements, and then they move on. Now, alarmed by the consistency and professionalism of investigation being conducted, the company reached out to Lawal with an offer of 100 million naira, which is about 230,000 US dollars, right? As a bribe to bury the case. In a grand design to trap the corrupt officials, Lawal played along, Lawal is a top EFCC official in Nigeria. And on Monday, two representatives of the company, Mengwe Kun and Suko, offered him cash totaling 50 million naira, which is half of the money, in their office along Airport Road in Sokoto. The cash was offered as a first installment. Okay. So there you have it. Stop sharing the screen. Let's go back to StreamYard. Thank you, Jerry. I see you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. Right? So, the reason why these caught my attention, first of all, big shout out to the EFCC. I think it's an amazing job. The reason this caught my attention, if you're watching, hit the like button, hit the like button on the videos, right? So the reason this caught my attention, it's simply because, as you'd appreciate, I've had, there's been numerous, things going on about the infiltration of Africa, land grabbing and all that stuff. I've made contents, for those of you that watch me consistently, I've made content in that regard and stuff. Now, my reason for sharing this is really not to sensationalize this. It's just to let you know. This case, for example, these people were exposed. It's a tiny drop in the ocean of exactly what goes on in Africa. So you can imagine the people that have 100 million naira, 230,000, dollars to be able to bribe, bribe to be able to bribe what's it called now, officials, right? Those type of persons have the ability to even do more. Does that make sense? So this is one of these. So imagine, just imagine if these EFCC official had played ball, accepted that huge amount of money, and destroyed the investigation process to help them conceal, all the fraudulent actions and cover up and destroy the investigations and stuff. They'll get away with it. They can do more. They can do more. They can even do more and more and more, and be able to sabotage and infiltrate, the country and stuff. This is exactly what's going on in Africa, right? And when I saw this, I said, you know what? I've got to make a video about this. I've got to. It gives you an insight into what goes on, the audacity of these people to be able. And this is why I say that the leaders, that lead, that control, powerful position within the, public sector and private sector and all that stuff, they are the ones. They are the cancer that's destroying the fabric of the society, really. So it makes it impossible for the average citizen to be able to fight back or even gain justice or be able to even express themselves, right? These guys, let me go back to that blog. Yeah, somebody said the country being sold to the highest bidder. Oh, you goddamn right. Absolutely. Let me go back. Let me go back. These are the guys, man. Just have a look. The audacity of these people. Have a look for yourselves, man. If these people can penetrate, this isn't new, but if they can penetrate a nation, they can drop these on the laps of anyone, buy their way through. So how much more land grabbing and buying acres and acres and hijacking, hijacking our ports, hijacking our banking system, hijacking our business sectors, pretty much hijacking the entire continent. This is easy. These Lawal, who basically is the head of, let me go look at his name again, man. Mr. Abdullahi Lawal. I think that man, his actions, commendable, don't you think? Absolutely commendable. His actions are commendable, man. Thank you, Akwede Farms. Thank you. Somebody said the EFCC deserves some praise. They definitely do, because somebody said, what was the bribery for? I've read it. The bribery for was basically, let me go back again. The bribery was basically offered in a desperate bid to compromise ongoing investigations of a construction company, China Zhongao, which is based in Nigeria. There's been a lot of fraudulent action. They handled contracts that were awarded by the Zamfara state government to the sum of 50 billion naira, right? Between year 2012 and 2019. So there's been staggering level of misappropriation of funds. So they are currently being investigated, and the zonal office in Sokoto is handling that investigation as we speak. And these Chinese people, ran from pillar to post and are trying to do their bit to, of course, bribe their way through and hopefully shatter that investigation process. But they have now been exposed. So that's pretty much what the bribery, is for, if that makes sense. we need to acknowledge the EFCC for these for sure. What they hear from us is complaint, but this one time, yeah, this guy, and I hope this the safety of the man involved is guaranteed. This Lawal, because it's unusual though. EFCC gets sabotaged a lot in courts. They arrest folks and the courts free them and make them pay less than 0% of what is stolen. Of course, you make very, very, very important point, Idrisable. As by the way, let me see. If you want to call in, if you want to dial in, you can dial in. Let's have a chat. If you want to dial in, I'm gonna give you a link. Feel free to dial in. Okay, let's have a chat. So how is EFCC's recovered monies accounted for and spent afterwards? Well, I think somebody said, EFCC gets sabotaged a lot in courts. Yes, because the judicial system, unfortunately, is equally corrupt, man. The layers and layers and layers and layers of corruption. This is why I said this case is just a tiny drop in the ocean of corruption, So people, it might be lower ranking officers or high ranking officers who are able to put their foot down and say no to that corruption. Their actions are absolutely commendable. Trust me. Corruption, Nigeria is neck deep. The corruption is staggering. A Chinese man stocked up Nigerian naira in a country where people cannot afford 3 square meal. Somebody wants to join in. There's David. Hold on. Somebody wants to join in. Hold on. Let me see. Add to stream. What's going on?
How you doing, Phrankleen? It's been
a
while.
All right, you?
I'm doing good, man. I wanted to chat on something about that. Excuse my presence. I'm just kind of woke up, but I caught you there.
No,
here in the United States,
yeah,
we're dealing with the same type of issue. China has bought up several of our meat processing centers. One of them is a big one that I'm sure you probably know about, Smithfield Hams.
Yeah.
They bought that. You saw that video where they were killing all of those pigs. I'm sure that's been going around.
Yeah.
Well, we're sending all of our pork products over to China. And the president just signed that Defense Production Act for the meatpacking industries because they've been having like 1,000 people with COVID-19 in the processing plants. So they're claiming we're low on meat. Well, the farmers have come out to say, we have so many cows and pigs, but we can't process them. So we're not short. They're just short on the processing. And they're claiming, well, they're processing them for restaurants, but since the restaurants is closed, so my thought is, why can't you sell them in bulk? I mean, I'm 58. So when I was in my teens, early 20s, my mother and her sister's family, we would get together and buy a quarter of a cow. And we would just buy a freezer and we would split that quarter of a cow for the both families. Are you telling me we can't do that now? So what they're doing, he made this Defense Production Act, but what just came out this past week is he didn't do that for us. They're shipping all the beef over to China.
Are you talking about Trump?
Yes. They're shipping all the beef over to China. And for example, I wanted to order meat because I've got underlying issues and I order my food. As I was ordering it, all of the meat was disappearing in the app. No longer available. I got up early this morning to do it. It's just been disappearing. So then the meat is like double the prices here. So that corruption is going on in Nigeria. It's going on here with China. China is doing a takeover of the whole world.
Wow.
Basically the whole world. This is happening all over. It's happening in Europe. They're getting the meats over there. And our politicians are selling us out while we don't have any food. Now, when the summertime comes, imagine that's going to happen. They already claimed it was going to happen with the vegetables. And not only that, uh, we can't purchase seeds to plant our own food. The seeds are unavailable. Luckily, I bought some seeds about 4 or 5 years ago. But most people, you know, they don't save their seeds, so they're going to run into this problem. So this is like a chess game where it's checkmate basically. And you've got one politician, which I'm really happy for that guy, but that's one.
Yeah, that's just one. That's just one guy. And the sad thing is that one guy, you know, the news came out yesterday, and I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing. But what's likely going to happen is then these guys have to go through the justice system, and then you meet, and you're going to be faced with another layer of unbelievable amount of corruption. It's just dirty money changing hands and blocking and trying to, because the EFCC, the Economic and Financial Crime Department, they've tried a lot, and they've tried a lot to, you know, uncover a lot of things. But as soon as they get into the court process, it's a totally different ball game, and you're expecting this big amount of penalty to go against the corrupt officials, and then the judges just bring it down to, you know, something that tiny, and you think, what the hell? And you know, they just get away. Just, man, and it makes it hard for. It makes it hard for when you look at the bigger picture for the, you know, for the entire nation to enjoy progress. So it's just exactly what I'm talking about here, man. But at least it's a bit of the reason is, and one of the main reasons I'm saying this as well is in the past.
I just lost audio.
All right. Oh, sorry about that. Let me see. All right. I think I've lost David there. If you want to dial in, follow that link. I'm gonna have a few, you know, chat with people. Let's see. So let me look at some of the comments. Don't be quick to praise, brother. Nigerian institutions are corrupt to the teeth. The ability to deceive is legendary, and they've been getting lots of criticism from all over. Let me see. Right. All right, David is back.
Hello?
Yeah, hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but there was no video. Is that from you?
Yes. Hold on. Something just came in. I had to accept right away. Let me see if I can get back here to you.
Right. Okay.
Okay, I'm here. Yeah. Right. And what just happened is I'm ordering food and things are out of stock as they're stocking it. This is what we're going through over here.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. You know, so I don't know, man. And like, for example, they had those two people from South Africa that were thrown over the ship in shark infested water. And these guys got off with a fine. And you're talking about a big ship. And so the people that are on the ship got $2,500 fine, and the captain got a $5,000 fine. Now, when you're talking about a big ship, all the company has to do is go, here's the money, and they're off. They get to go where they should have locked them up, thrown them in a South African jail for years. But if they're not, they're sending these people back home, and they're like an locust, man. There's 1.5 billion Chinese people. Okay, they go back home. We'll send 3 more. We'll send more. It's nothing for them, man. And I know that sounds terrible, but this is the truth. I mean, they need to be languishing in an African jail somewhere, and they'll stop this stuff. But you send them back home, and this is what you have.
Yeah.
And creating police stations with Chinese people. We can't go over to their country and have a African police station, you know. And this corruption that I think I don't even know it's corruption or I call it naivete or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But it's got to stop. You know, it's got to be. And this one guy, I praise him, but I think this is just
I mean,
going to be an empty
I'll
gesture.
keep an eye on the story. We'll see what goes on, you know. Because another thing is there's this reverse psychology type of game they play. They you know, sometimes, you know, because people are so, there's a huge mistrust in the system. Sometimes there's evidences where they throw certain things out and you think, oh, they're going in the right direction, and they use that to mislead you, and in the back end they're doing something else. So you might see this breaking story, and you think, you know, but it's worth talking about, you see. So
Yeah,
because it's
yeah,
public domain, but sometimes we've also known from experience where they throw something out, and then whilst you're busy talking and arguing about that, there's a bigger picture to, you know, what's going on in the back end, and then you're too busy fighting amongst yourselves, and then there's a like monies and all that stuff, and you know, going
right,
going.
right.
So it's but anyway, thank you, man. Let me see if I can
All
get
right,
you.
thanks for having me on. You have a great day.
All right, you too, man. Thank you. Right. So, hey, what's up? Anyways, that's you know, I haven't got much. If anyone wants to say something, let me know. If not, there are people who are being abusive. Why do you keep doing that? Why do you keep doing that? You know, these places meant to be Tidus Beatley, what's up? This stream is meant to be grown-up conversation. This is why I put out the link. If you want to dial in, you want to say something, you know, you don't have to show your face. Feel free to log on. But please, if you disagree with someone in the live stream, I ask you respectfully, stop, you know, stop calling people names, stop using the F word, you know, especially amongst us black folks. Stop using the N word. Stop doing all that, man. Hi, Franklin. I'd like to say something. There is a link. Hit on that link. Follow that link. T. Kelly, don't worry about it, man. Follow that StreamYard link and dial in, all right? Let's be grown up, and let's stop all this stuff about attacking people. I appreciate that some people might have limited vocabulary. You probably lack the ability to effectively express yourself or be able to sustain grown-up conversation. But I'm not going to use that as an excuse to let you come on the live stream and be calling people names, asking people to shut up and all that stuff. That's not palatable, you know. It's not fair. Don't do that, man. They are not going to integrate into African society and will exploit Africans for the full extent. I agree, man. I'm waiting on you. If you want to dial in, feel free to dial in. All right. I don't intend to take too long tonight, this evening. So if I'm just hanging in there, I like to hear from people. This platform is for great minds. Yeah, I've got Rosemary.
Hi, Phrankleen.
Hi.
How are you
Hi.
doing?
How are you? I'm good.
Yeah,
You?
I'm good. Yeah, I just went out to the park today, but I just wanted to talk about this China situation. I don't know, it's like everywhere, you know?
Right.
And I'm more worried about Africa because it's almost like they're taking over everything. It's just a few countries that seem to have awoken to their awareness, but I don't know how far they're going to go in stopping them, you know?
Right.
Nigeria, for one, I'm not sure if anything is ever going to be done, honestly, because we don't know what's going on really, and they seem to keep coming. All the contracts seem to be going to them, and they do shoddy jobs. They still get it. They bribe officials at the back end. They get all the juicy contracts, give us, whatever they like, employ only their own people. Right now,
Right.
unemployment in Nigeria is up like 33%. why do you keep giving contracts to people who are only going to import people that are going to work for them? That should be like a criteria. If the people you're going to hire are not like at least 70% of the citizens, then no show. you know that is only realistic. But
I think,
we kind of like.
yeah, I agree with you, but I think the reason it's possible, like they are being investigated for over 50 billion naira worth of contract between 2012 and 2019. So of course there's been misappropriation of funds, and all of these things are possible because of the corrupt officials in the background who has made it
Yeah.
easy for the Chinese to navigate through the system and get away. So as long as we have those corrupt officials, it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. For example, if you go to Nigeria and stuff, Lagos Ibadan Expressway, for example, they have been working on that expressway forever. My God. And I remember the last time I went to Nigeria, right? Somebody told me, a cab driver told me that the contract was actually awarded to, imagine a whole stretch of a road, was awarded to 5 or 4 different companies. So one has to do up to one.
That is so stupid.
They use it for money laundering and, and as I speak, the project remains uncompleted.
Exactly. And with this recent budget loot, they're now coming up with different list of infrastructures that is never gonna happen. Really, I know it's never gonna happen. But my issue with Nigeria is that it's easy to point fingers at everybody. Oh, the officials, the politicians, but this stems from the grassroots. Even the cleaners, the clerks, everybody's corrupt. So it's like it has to come from everybody and not just the politicians. Because really, the people that are complaining now, when they get to that position, they're going to do the exact same thing. It's like, they stole.
Somebody said something. One of my favorite quotes is like, the average Nigerian is a reflection of their politicians. And it's true, because on the ground level, and I love my people, but the level of corruption, even amongst family members, is absolutely staggering. You cannot trust people for the tiniest, hey man, help me buy a piece of land. Scam.
Yeah.
Hey, help me buy 100 bags of cement. Scam.
Exactly.
Help me take the delivery of a car. Scam. And it goes on and on and on and on. So imagine, like you rightly said, so if those persons make it to powerful positions, anything is going to happen. So it's almost become a culture. Because I remember there was a time I went and I had issues with some of my childhood friends who swindled someone, and I told him off that, yo, this is wrong, blah, blah, blah. And I had some dudes that they were asking me to cool off. It's business. And I'm like, no, you're running a criminal empire. That's not business. You swindled someone. And somebody told me I was speaking big grammar. I was going, and they felt uncomfortable because I was talking too much. And because of that, some people just kind of left me.
Yeah. Well, just called in to say my date. Yeah. But
Thank you.
Doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. So Mr. Aminu.
Hi Frank, how you doing?
I'm all right. You?
I'm good. Nice to be in the house.
Thank you. So what do you think? Talk to me.
Well, I'm surprised that anyone is surprised with what's just happened. This is standard operating procedure in Nigeria, in case anybody didn't know.
Right.
And I can cite you so many examples. Some will probably know you. So I'll give you an example of a project that happened in Nigeria. Remember, I don't know if you've been on the train between Kaduna and Abuja.
Yeah.
Just about 300 kilometers. It's not even over 300 kilometers. That cost close to $1 billion. To be precise, it cost almost, I think it was about $880 million it cost. Now, when you put that amount on Nigeria, you know that we cannot afford that project. So basically, what's happened is that Nigeria has gone and signed a deal with China for a project that in reality we cannot afford, but we still took on because the politicians wanted to make a statement. And what's happening now, I can tell you this from people I know who've worked on the project currently. That project does not deliver more than, say, 120, between 150 to 200 million. The last time I heard, that is what it generates, tickets wise and other things. Currently, the Nigerian government pays about 700 million naira every month to remunerate that. So the government is subsidizing that project to the tune of 500 million naira. And then when you go and start checking the nooks and crannies of how project gets done in Nigeria, I can assure you again from an internal source that more than 200 million of that dollars I'm talking about went to please this person or that person, because don't forget these contracts need to be signed. Now, this is then when you go, for example, put this project aside, then go to places like Kano, for example, where they've been, this applies to Lagos as well, where they've been traders, they've always imported clothes from Benin or Cotonou and other places. They bring watches from Hong Kong and what have you. Now, we have a lot of Chinese people who have come in and are making this very, very difficult because they can go source it from back home at the cheapest of the cheapest price. And what's happening is that they are killing a lot of local businesses. From time to time, the government will send in some custom officials. They'll go around the market and seize a product or two just to demonstrate they're doing something. But this is all, it's more like magic. You understand? I'm telling you, Frank, let me tell you, right? I'm a Nigerian and I love my country. But I am personally, I'm almost at the point of giving up because I respect what you do, Frank. I think you're a good guy. You're trying to do something and you're starting something, you understand? But Nigeria is beyond what anybody thinks, you understand? I'll give you another example of how backward we are. This I know. You remember this diaspora thing we talk about? Back in the year 2000. Okay, before I say that, you remember, Ajokuta Steel Complex, and I'm sure everybody knows about that project. Now, when Obasanjo came on throne, Ajokuta, he went around the world. And in about January 2001, he went to Japan. And in their discussion with Japan, he met the company called Kobe Steel. They are currently, I think, the first or the second in the world. And they expressed interest in coming and taking over a Ajokuta Steel Complex. But because of the Nigerian process, the waste of time, the lack of seriousness, and what have you, by the time the memo came to a place called the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, 6 months before the memo came from the president's office to that commission to start the ball rolling, Kobe Steel has already gone and bought another Brazilian company because Nigeria is slow. We are not serious. I'm telling you that. Look, Frank, there are so many examples of people trying to say we have some good people in the US who are leaders in their field who are trying to start a couple of things, whether it's medical project, this and that. They come and they get stuck in Nigeria and then they go back. So for every 100 businesses that try to go and do something in Nigeria, I can assure you it's one or two that will get ahead, and they must either be small scale or have a very, very strong financial backing and be willing to play tango in the Nigerian way. But I can assure you, anybody who says they just win and you're doing something big, and you do the integrity we have in the UK or America, you do that in Nigeria, and you want to win, I mean, I've got news for you. Maybe that person is not telling us the whole story. I'm telling you that, Frank, because my country is just super complicated.
Thank you, bro.
just to throw mine in there. So
I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you, man. Yeah. Let me bring in Mr. Bolaji. How are you, sir?
Right. Franklin.
Where are you coming from? Where are you coming from?
And this is, I'm coming from UAE. I'm from the UAE. And
Where?
I
Sorry?
think from the UAE, Dubai, UAE.
All right. Okay.
Dubai.
Okay.
Can
So
you
what have you got to say?
hear me clearly?
It's breaking up a little
It's a
bit.
small thing to just drop.
Okay.
This is just my own opinion. It's not any other's opinion. Am I right? Am I wrong? I think a skill of all people governments.
I can't hear you properly. I cannot hear you properly. Maybe try to reconnect, yeah? Try to reconnect, please. Yeah, Jules.
Yeah, Frank. Hello, guys.
Hi, what's up? How are you?
Good. All right. So I wanted to, first of all, thank EFCC. I guess give them praise for what they've done in this situation. I do believe that some kind of positive reinforcement is needed. Nigeria has disappointed us all for a very, very long time, and this is really the
Yeah.
norm for us to not even hear any good news. I mean, remember those times, Babangida times, Abacha times? We never heard of anything like this, but all of a sudden we're hearing something, and I think it's worth noting. Like a lot of the news we feel or know about Nigeria is the negative ones, and rightfully so, because they gave us a reason to feel that way. But when they are
Yeah.
doing some right things, I think it's okay. I think it's only notable that we say something, we put some things on social media. We need to work on our love for country. In other countries, there are scams, other things happen. Places like China, if they're scamming you, trust me, they're scamming themselves. They don't trust one another either. They don't trust their own government. They give themselves fake food, fake rice. These things they are doing here, they are doing it there. They also, fake names, fake businesses. They scam one another as well. It's what happens in a money-driven, highly populated place. There's no difference in what they are doing in their country and what they are doing to other people. The only difference, though, is love for country. Love for country. We have no other place but Nigeria. All of us have left home because it's a mess.
Of
Absolute
course.
mess, right? But even the places that we are, we're not comfortable either.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is love for country. Nobody's blind to what's going on in Nigeria. Nobody's blind. Okay, my own father was killed in Nigeria. I'm not blind to what's going on in Nigeria. Nobody's
Wow.
naive here. You understand what I'm
Wow.
saying? When I was 16, my father was assassinated in Nigeria. So we're not blind. Okay, but then today are they not killing themselves at schools in wherever? Are they not, are things not happening in other countries? No, Nigeria is not better. We get that. But this one time that EFCC has done one drop of one drop in a haystack of a thing, I think we need to have like a campaign of some kind of positive reinforcement. You know what? It tells me that they are paying attention to what happens. It seems like they are so affected by what we say on social media. They are so affected by it to the point where they wanted to bring out the social media, what is it, social media law, or whatever. It affects them
Yeah.
so much. They're
Yeah.
somewhat kind of insecure or sensitive about what we say. The government as a whole, even in China as well, seems to be so sensitive about what people are saying about them on social media. Can we start to use that in a positive way to help ourselves? I think the first thing is love of country. Second thing is solutions. Are there any groups out there that are working on doing things putting things into place for us to start to make change? One other positive thing about Nigeria is that it's a free market. Okay, nobody's talking about government type stuff. One thing I noticed, the government doesn't really, really bother you when you are in your private sector and you're doing your own thing, following their laws. All right. You also need to be very structured and say, okay, you're not going to do side by side stuff. You're going to protect yourself. Make sure that you're being respectful. Oh, don't come here and be acting like, oh, everybody should bow down to you. Be respectful. If you want to get, move along, you need to do what you need to do to get out of the way. But I've seen people in private sector, even hospitals, they are legit strong hospitals. They are expensive, yes, but they are legit strong hospitals that provide the same kinds of services you can find in the US. They might be super expensive, but they are nowhere near the expenses of the US or other places. But at least it
Yeah.
is a start. It is a start. It is a start. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Many other people in other sectors have been frustrated. Okay, for example, I just heard yesterday that the landing of the moon, the person that spearheaded it as their team lead in NASA is a Ghanaian person. Is a Ghanaian person. Many of our strong leaders in Mars that landed on in Mars, sorry, a few years ago. Many of our strong, intelligent leaders in Africa are being paid and taken care of in other countries. China started this campaign where they were overpaying smart, intelligent people that had information in the US, that
Yes.
held high
Yes.
positions in the US. And guess what? They started to come back home. Love of
Hmm.
country, guys. We will never be perfect. And hopefully one day we might get better, but we will never be perfect. The first thing I feel we need to do is have love of country. Even if we don't love the country inside, that's fine. On the surface, let's come off as if we love the country. How about
Yeah.
that? That might really help us. My last thing I'm gonna add, all the
Right.
stuff that the politicians are doing is us. That's a reflection of all of us, because the policeman that is a policeman today that just collected a bribe, he was born yesterday. He wasn't born during the time during colonial era. He wasn't born during Buhari's time. He's not among these colonial men. Excuse me. He's not among these colonial quote unquote boys, like I like to call them. All these guys that were there during the colonial era, and then now they're big bosses, and they still have the colonial mentality. We are the problem. You and I talking and not even, maybe it's some of us that haven't even done much back home or tried to do some stuff back home, and things happen, we give up. If you do what you are strong enough to do, but a lot of these issues are our problems. How are we raising our boys? Are we respectful of our women? You know what I'm saying? How are we treating one another? How are we cautioning dishonesty when we see dishonesty? You know
This
what I
is
mean?
exactly what I said earlier, and I'm going to say it again in response to what you've just said. Somebody said this to me a while back, and it just stuck in my head. Said it was a man in his 60s, and said the average Nigerian is a reflection of the leaders that they voted for. And I'm like, wow. So at first I was taken aback. It didn't make sense to me. And then he broke it down and said, on the ground level, leave the leaders on the shelf just for a moment, like what you were saying. Amongst ourselves on the ground level, day-to-day interactions, are we straight with ourselves? Talk
Mhm.
about like virtually everything. And I'm telling you this, I'm like everybody else. I love Nigeria, till I die. But when I go home as often as possible and you're dealing with people, I'm telling you, I'm not
Mhm.
personally, it's not my way of life. Like I'm not used to this. People are unbelievably corrupt. It's so stupid. Like you go into a business center to just photocopy a bunch of documents. They an 11-year-old child is trying to fleece you of 100 naira change.
Oh
Now,
yes.
then you take a step back and say, how did that 11-year-old child learn that game? That child was taught. You go down the road to a vulcanizer to put a bit of air into your tire. They're trying to swindle you. You go
Mhm.
into this, hey man, can you supply me 100 bags of cement? Somebody that's involved with somebody that owns the truck and that knows the guy that knows the shop. Everybody's colluding. The collusion is layered. They are trying to swindle you. And what you
Mhm.
find is, as soon as you uncover the frauds or you prevent them, just because somebody wants to swindle you of the common 5,000 naira and you block them out or you uncover that fraud, they don't mind to destroy your 5 million naira investment. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That
They
happens
don't
within
even
families,
mind.
let alone
They don't
strangers.
mind to point you out to kidnappers. This is
Yes.
why you have layers. Some might argue and say, it's because of poverty and stuff. Look, this is why I've said it in several, previous videos. Like, I don't know. I don't have the template. I'm just saying what I know as an individual, right? If we cannot free the minds that are chained in evilness and criminality, how do we even begin to experience this desired changes? Because people are cruel. I've seen people, because of that selfish 20,000 naira that they're trying to steal from you, they don't mind pointing, setting you up and getting you
Absolutely.
robbed, obliterating your life and turning your children to orphans overnight. The evilness. I'm talking to some of my childhood friends, right, who are back home. I've had someone, check this out, a dude talking to me one-on-one, right, saying, hey man, look, my daughter, my two daughters were asked to stay home because I couldn't pay their school fees and whatnot and stuff. And here was I empathizing, right, with him. As soon as I heard kids, right, my guard came down, and I'm, he's my homeboy. And I'm like, okay, what do you need? How can I help? Dude is talking to me about, he's about 180,000 naira behind in arrears, his daughter's school fees, blah blah. And I'm saying, okay, everything you're looking for, let's just say approximately about 200K. I'm not promising everything because I've got my own, cross to bear, but I'll see what I can do. We went to a local joint. I paid for, afternoon. We had a mala together, as you do in Nigeria. Evening, another joint had catfish pepper soup with palm wine. I had a good time with him. I put a little 20 grand in his hand, and I said, tomorrow, I'm going to go to the bank. I'll sort some cash out. We'll meet again in the evening, and I'll sort you out. In my mind, I had the intention of saying, I'll give him 100K. This is not a loan, just to help a friend, right? Well, you see, as the four corners of the universe will have it, I met another friend completely later that night. He didn't know that I had met with this guy during the day and all that. So we just caught up very quickly. I said, dude, I don't want to be outside. It's getting a bit too late. I need to go home and stuff like that because of security reasons. And then we just had a brief chat. And he mentioned this guy and said, do you know that such and such? I'm the one handling the roofing project on his house, 5 bedroom, that is building such and such and such area. Oh, we were together just 2 days ago, and then wait, what? Who are you talking about? Such and such. He goes, yeah, no. So he pulled out his Samsung phone and went on his WhatsApp, showed me images. I didn't say a word about money, school fees, and all that stuff. My knees buckled. I was like, God damn. So this guy is literally mugging me off. He sat in front of me. Even if you were sat next to me, you would probably want to chip in to help him just because of his kids and stuff. And I said to my friend, this other friend, I said, wait, hold on. You're handling the roofing project for this guy? Like right now? He goes, okay, hold on. Jump in the car real quick. The site is only about 10 minutes drive from here. And they pulled, in this Toyota Corolla. We drove down and we got to the place. It was a bit dark at night. And he showed me. So put on the touch on his mobile phone. We just looked through the fence. You can see ongoing project. And I could see their WhatsApp chat. I couldn't keep it to myself. And I told the other friend, I said, dude just told me that he hasn't got any source of income. He's broke. He's this and this. The guy just laughed. He goes, you know, a broad guy now, he's just trying to take advantage. That's nothing. Goes, anyway, don't tell him I told you about this. I'll catch you later. Dropped me off. And man, this is one of the things. I mean, I'm the type of dude, right? I'm a straight talking guy. So the next day I called him, I met him, and I said, dude, you know what? I don't care if you're building a shopping mall. That's none of my business. But you use your daughters to try to scam me. He was looking at me dead on. The only thing this guy said to me, he didn't even apologize. He didn't show remorse. He was like, who told you about my building project? And he had this frown on his face. I said, oh, you're much more concerned about that. You're not concerned about the fact that I've exposed you. And it was like, ah, well, whatever, bro. Blah 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 blah. And he even blocked me on Facebook.
Mm,
But that's that.
mm,
What am I trying to say? This is just one story out of, and when you tell some other people, they like, yeah, it's just yeah, it's normal. And this thing drives me nuts. So imagine these type of people get into position of power. I
exactly.
understand you can find unscrupulous people if you go into the African American community, if you come in England, come here into the UK, if it's a white person. But what I'm saying is, it's unbelievable. That's why the other day when we are talking about the business, setting up business, I was asking you about the challenges. Because trust me, I've had stories of where people have been robbed and have been fleeced, and they even forgot why they went to Nigeria in the first place, and they run back
Mm,
to where they came from because it's fraud left, right, and center. So,
mhm.
how do we then begin to talk about the corrupt leaders when, if you have 10 people, about 8 people want to rob you blind? How?
Yep. I mean, I also have family member situations. You know what I'm saying? I have people who I notice because from a business perspective, right? You're always almost like a tennis ball. You're always hitting balls that are coming out of the corner. So it's almost like
Right.
something that you deal with every day, whether
Mm.
Nigerian or not. But Nigeria, there is a higher probability of that. And in
Mm.
times of those, this is where I have decided to separate myself from certain people. So there was a particular situation where someone who was very close to me stole from me, not only monetarily. This is someone that I gave a job. Oh, somebody that I gave a job, didn't have any form of income, gave a job. You understand? Stole from me. Not only did they steal from me, they stole monetarily and stole products. So,
Wow.
and then eventually I fired them. To this day, I'm the evil person. I'm the one. I'm the evil person to this day.
Yeah.
So I'm not naive to these things. I'm not naive to these things. It's just that it seems to be that there's a smidget of change. There's a tiny bit of change that's actually starting to happen. A tiny, even us having this conversation is the beginning of it. There are people out there who have navigated their way through Nigeria. For myself, at the time, I had 4 stores, I had all these employees and things like that, and I had a
And,
successful
and can I
situation
say to
going
you,
on.
can I also say to you as well, just so for the benefit of the people watching and listening, right? Um, from the perspective of a content creator, which I am on this platform, just to let you know, in the past few weeks, there's been a lot of shadow banning by YouTube.
Mm,
Everything China related, particularly remember the breaking news and how black people are being treated and all that stuff, yeah?
yes,
And all the
yes.
corruption stuff. They have basically been targeting people talking about China. So I had
Mm,
this conversation. Trust me, even this guy, Wadimaya, told me he had China related videos deleted from his account by YouTube.
no shock
China
here.
related videos demonetized. So what they are doing is they are shadow banning people. Basically, shadow banning means when they don't exactly have anything to do to you, they limit the reach of your videos. It's been done to me. I'm telling you right now, but I'm not bothered. I've given fire to like YouTube staffs via you can chat to them because of the number of subscribers I've got, and they
Hmm.
abandon and they run away. I can show you these evidences because I've never broken the rules and regulations and stuff. They cannot come back because they've been exposed. They
Mm.
everything in China. So basically, there's like a Chinese mechanism in the background. So this is reached a level where if a Chinese person, I'm talking hypothetically,
Hmm.
punched that person here right now, and everyone sees it, and you rush to the social media and talk about it, right? They don't want to acknowledge that action is wrong.
Because they have a huge population of them in their tech industry. Period. That's the first thing that I think. That's the first thing. San Francisco, Silicon Valley, and we're not against that. We don't care about that. Obviously, right? It's a
Yeah,
free world, but they
yeah,
do have a huge population of them in their industry. Facebook, Instagram owner. Hello. I mean, all
yeah.
that's clearly what it is. That is why it's very important for people to protect themselves digitally in these situations. These celebrities are not saying anything. They had something to say when people were discriminating against Asians, but they had nothing to say when these people were discriminating against Africa. Nothing to say.
Mm.
So we owe our own selves that. It is very clear. They are huge in the tech industry. We have smart Africans. We can create our own platform. We have enough population. Please, if somebody is hearing me, let's do something. Let's do something.
Yeah. Yeah, because there is a wave of, they're deleting videos. I've known a couple of people who even have more than double of my subscriber count or whatever, and they're terminating accounts abruptly.
Oh my
They say,
goodness, are you serious?
yeah, I'm telling you now, from the back end of a creator, people watching me might watch
Of course.
contents,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you just go about your own business, and they are shadow banning, which is basically they will limit. So let's say, for example, I'll put out a content, and it would normally within a day or two, 24 hours, it would get like 20,000 views or more, right? You just realize that the video is crawling.
Hmm.
Do you see? They limit the number of your subscribers that see your videos, so that content, the topics, that particular topic you're talking about, doesn't get the desired exposure. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Of,
Or
of, of course.
in some instances, what they do is, like, this video is monetized. So what they do is, the moment the live stream comes to an end, the monetization disappears and says, "Oh, our system is flagged it as it might not be, the content might not be suitable for advertisers," which is
Mm.
absolute nonsense. You will then manually go into your dashboard and request a review. Now, normally, if I request a review after 1,000 views on the video, within 30 minutes, under an hour, right? Somebody should review it and say, "Okay, this video is okay," and stop. But
Mm-hmm.
you know what they do?
A
They
week,
will
2
sit on
weeks.
it for like close to
Mm.
2 days, like 2 days or more, before they then approve that video. Now, what that does is, this is how the YouTube algorithm works. The moment a video is not monetized, because the framework of YouTube is, if I'm making content and it's getting
Mm-hmm.
views like everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
whatever money I make off maybe the YouTube, Google ads,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
however tiny, however, YouTube gets a cut.
Of course.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Of
Because,
course.
for example, if at the end of the month you make £100, as an example,
Mm-hmm.
they own about, is it 45% of that money? They take a cut. So it's in their interest that every video is monetized.
Of course.
But the moment monetization is off a video, it affects the video's exposure.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So the algorithm would not just, it's sophisticated, it's done that way. The algorithm would just drop the traffic on that video.
Mm.
These are the mechanisms that they put in place to gag us, to gag people, to restrain. Look, I can sit here and make food recipes all day long. There's a reason why I'm saying, so hopefully educate people. I can make funny, goofy videos all day long. And yeah, it's okay to laugh. People can enjoy it and love my personality in that regard. But the moment you're talking about important things like we're discussing, they don't want us to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they come after you. It's like a woodpecker. They start chipping away at your account. They start gagging you. They start preventing you. They start, just because. You see, somebody's saying something. By the way, they just blocked Wademaya's first live link video. He had to retitle that. He's live right now. You see what I'm saying?
My goodness. I wonder if they do the same to the Sapenza, the guy in the South African, the white South African guy that always talks
Right.
about China. I don't know if he's having the same experience.
Some of those people, you've got to, you see, when you hear some people making clickbait content, you might think, oh, they're saying something serious. They are called controlled opposition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody might be blabbing away and you think they are giving you substance. Listen very well. There is nothing in there. Some of these people, that's why they can easily put out some nonsensical content and then they get 1 million views. It's driven by the system. If the system decides to expose your video, because there are people in the background, they will just push it out because you are controlled. You're being paid. You're part of a clique. Does that make sense?
Of
But
course.
you see, the thing about people like us is we remain incorruptible. I'm not controlled by anybody. I'm just me, right? So if I've got something to say, bang, I just say it and then see you later, bye. I go about the rest of my days. But that's why about the Rona virus thing and all that stuff, you realize that the mainstream media, all the big mainstream media network control the narrative. Everybody does got something to say about XYZ that's against that pattern. They shadow ban, the pull down content. They are watching, they're restricting, they're preventing, you know, you get the gist, right?
Of course. I mean, my own thing, I'm just hoping that someone who is a great developer, which we have a lot of, and someone is probably listening to this right now, you can create a social media platform. Thankfully, Instagram and Facebook has shown us that chronological order is not the most important things. When we swipe through our feed, it's mostly the things that we care about that we're seeing. We don't as much
Yeah,
need a lot of Western entertainment sometimes, to be excited. A lot of, for example, Nigerian feed is fun enough, it's crazy enough, it's exciting enough, addictive enough for you to enjoy. So if you can create a social media platform just like YouTube-esque, whatever, or Facebook
mm,
or Instagram, that would, and hopefully it will get some kind of attention. You do probably need to advertise it or whatever, but it will get some kind of attention because it's obvious we are enough. We are enough. That's what
I
I'd
agree,
like to
man.
say.
Thank you, Jules. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right.
We'll catch up again. Thank you. Right. Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm fine. What's good?
Okay, so first of all, I just need to clear my name. Someone is impersonating me. I was like, who the hell is the other SLA? I did not request a refund. That is for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
I
just
know. I know. I get loads of trolls who come, and in fact they do it to me. Somebody will come up with my own username and start saying negative stuff.
okay, awesome. Well, I
Yeah, yeah,
just want to say I agree with the last caller and Aminu. Oh
right.
my God. Just speaking personally in my own family, we've had people, especially, it's always us, unfortunately, people who do kidnapping, bribing. I've had my own uncle, who he's a wealthy guy, has his own company, has been kidnapped
Right.
before for money. My mom, of course, she tries to do different businesses overseas. People have stolen from her. Oh, I mean, it's something that, just like you said, if we can't trust one another, if we can't do each other right, how can we expect other people to treat us well?
Mm,
Same thing even from America, it's the same thing with the Chinese, unfortunately. There's been several times, even in our local, African food stores, we've had some of these Chinese come and
mm.
you'll be seeing them sneaking in the corner, just writing down what we're buying and how much things cost, so they can be opening
Wow.
their own Nigerian food stores, if you can imagine that.
You have them like that in the States, like Chinese foods and stuff.
Oh yeah, so they have their own stores, and I wouldn't be surprised if they've even started opening Nigerian food stores, staffing them maybe with one or two Nigerian people to give the impression that it's African owned, when really it's not. It happens often. So yeah, just like Miss Jules said, I loved her comments 100%. We really have to do our own thing. As far as Black social media, actually, just the other day, I just looked up this one lady. She's a Black woman. I don't know what her origin is. I'm not sure, but she just started a social media platform that is starting to take off. It's called New, N-U. So look that up. It's blowing up a little bit. I mean, of course, it's not as big as Facebook and all the other places, but there are developers, Black developers, that are trying their best to start their own social medias and, media platforms. So definitely look into that. I don't know if there's I don't know if there's one by I'm sure there is. I just don't know. So if you guys happen to know any, please post it below so I can start to like it. But I just wanted to make sure I put my own 2 cents and say hello. And Nosa
Thank
says
you.
hi
Thank
too.
you.
All
Thank
right. Well,
you.
I send you my love and keep on doing a great job. I love what you're doing.
Thank you. Peace. Thank
Thanks.
you. Bye-bye. Right, guys. So thank you to everyone that's logged on. That's me done. Your boy's hungry. I'm starving. I've got to go get some food. I didn't intend for this to be, that long. I had to say that bit with Jules just to give you guys. Can I just say one thing, please? Can I say one thing? If you're watching me, hit the like button. If you're watching me, you're subscribed to my channel, right? You know that bell notification button. Hit that bell button right now, and where it gives you three options, just click on all, ALL, all. So what that does is you get notification when I've got live stream, if I've done a pre-recorded video, or anything that's going on my platform. If I put information on the community page, you get updated. Does that make sense? So if you're subscribed, because a lot of people say to me, Phrankleen, I'm subscribed to your channel, but I hardly get updates about your content. It's not me, I wish I had a magical power to control this. But one thing that I know is click on that bell button and select all. Okay, not personalized, not anything else. Just click on all. All means you get all of my updates, even if you are busy at work, or you are busy under the duvet in your bedroom doing some business. All right, you can always go back. At least you're aware that, oh, there's a video from Phrankleen. You can always go back when it's comfortable and go and watch and enjoy the content and join the conversation. All right. So you can somebody said some YouTube videos are automatically tagged children content, so you can't get notifications. I don't make children's content. I've already done that in my settings. My contents are not aimed at children. Okay, so right, please hit that bell button for notifications and prioritize at all. Select all. All right. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button. Show your love. Share my contents, and also just be aware. We have trolls. We have trolls that try to infiltrate, the comment section when I'm on a live stream. No worries. I've got a couple of wonderful people like Titus Beatley, who is a moderator. I'll be getting a couple of more moderators in. As soon as we find any troll who's trying to come in or misuse my name or try to extort people for money, and it's not me, I just get them blocked. All right. Just if you see any username, please call them to my attention. You can send me an email if you notice, or screenshots. If I notice anyone trying to do anything fraudulent or trying to hijack the live stream, we'll block you behind. It's your boy Phrankleen, and I will be back on here tomorrow. Okay. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button, the bell button, and hit that all. Okay. And I'll definitely catch you in the next one. Peace and love. Bye-bye now.